Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Gervonta Davis lacks enthusiasm for potential Shakur Stevenson. Gervonta Davis seemed unenthusiastic last Saturday night when asked how a unification fight between him and WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson would play out after his 8th-round knockout win over Frank Martin in Las Vegas. The WBA regular lightweight champion Gervonta Davis mentioned Shakur as one of the 3 names that he is interested in facing next. His KO of previously unbeaten Frank the Ghost Martin at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Shakur is defending his WBC 135-pound title next month in a rematch against Artyom Haratunian on July 6 at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. A predictable outcome? You know how it would go. Everybody in this room knows how it would go, but I guess it would be good for the sport if we fight now or later, said Gervonta at the post-fight press conference last Saturday night, when asked if Shakur would engage him or it would be a bad fight due to him having to chase him all night if they were to battle in lightweight unification next. It's understandable why Gervonta seemed apathetic about fighting Shakur next. He would be forced to chase him around the ring the entire contest, which would be boring for the fans. Shakur's defensive style. The Baltimore native Gervonta would likely eventually catch up to Shakur and do what he did to Martin, but it would be a boring fight for the fans. Gervonta might even lose if he could not catch up to Shakur. That happened in Shakur's last fight against the big puncher Edwin De Los Santos. Shakur was booed out of the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas after his last fight De Los Santos last November. Stevenson spent most of the fight jabbing and running, showing no interest in standing his ground to engage against the dangerous puncher De Los Santos. After the fight, Shakur's promoter at Top Rank blamed his 71st performance on having him in gyres. Still, the fans didn't buy the excuses because he would fall the same way in his fight against Joel Gonzalez, Robson Consequayo, Oscar Valdez, and Jeremiah Nakatila. Tim Bradley, Shakur Stevenson will easily outbox and defeat Gervonta Davis. Tim Bradley says WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson is the one to finally defeat unbeaten WBA champ Gervonta Davis in a unification fight. He sees Shakur beating Gervonta easy when they met. Bradley stated that Shakur does not mind that Gervonta is receiving all the praise from the fans and the media right now due to his highlight reels and knockouts, which the public is just eating up. Tim claims Shakur's goal is the best at 135, and he doesn't mind that the fans and media are not showering him with love. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson would not mind being given the kind of attention that Gervonta is because it would make life easier for him with his impending free agency after his July 6th title defense against Artyom Haratunian. Stevenson is not in demand now because of his recent performance against Edwin De Los Santos last November. In a fight where he resembled a track star, sprinting away from the hard-hitting puncher the entire night. Bradley's confidence in Stevenson. Shakur don't need me to give him any wisdom. Shakur is the guy, say boxing expert Tim Bradley to the media. Call it whatever way you want to call it. He ain't going to be with the Top Rank or wherever you want to say, you hater. There is a good chance Shakur won't be with Top Rank for much longer if he gets a big offer from one of the other major promoters after his July 6th fight against Artyom Haratunian. Stevenson will go to the highest bidder and the one that can promise enticing fights against Gervonta, Ryan Garcia, and Teofimo Lopez He don't need me to say what he needs to do. Shakur always knows what he needs to do, said Bradley. He is seeing Tank shine. He is seeing Gervonta get that attention. But his ultimate goal is to be the best at 135 pounds. Bradley claims Shakur could care less about Gervonta getting all the attention. Still, it got to bother him a little bit because he wanted to fight George Gamboa. Gervonta get them has got to bother Shakur, so he is to come in feeling some kind of way on July 6th against Artem Haratunian. He is going to come in refocused, dedicated as always, and he is going to show y'all what he is made of on that night when he returns. Trust me, he will. He has that in him. He is cut from a different cloth, said Bradley. Shakur has got the perfect opponent for him to come back with a vengeance against on July 6th because this guy can't punch coming off a loss and a year layoff. Top Rank has given Shakur the perfect goodbye present with Artem Haratunian, which should help him look good and impress his next promoter. Yeah, said Bradley when asked if Shakur is the one to beat Gervonta Davis. Call me a hater or whatever you want. Keep coming at me. Keep bringing that. He beats Gervonta. He outboxes him very easy with no problem whatsoever, said Bradley. Shakur is going to have to fight a lot more aggressively against Gervonta than he did in his fight with De Los Santos to have a chance of winning a decision. The judges aren't going to do Stevenson a favor by giving him a decision if he is going to run all night. James Toney makes emphatic Gervonta Davis Shakur Stevenson prediction. He will ruin his career. Gervonta and Shakur have the ingredients for an all-American, all-undefeated unification fight in one of the most hot-test divisions in the sport. When Devin Haney moved up to 140 and vacated his 4 lightweight belts, both men benefited. Davis was upgraded from WBA regular champion to full champ, and Stevenson fought for and won the vacant WBC belt against De Los Santos. Gervonta recently returned to the ring for his defense of the title, an 8-round knockout of previously undefeated Frank Martin. Stevenson looks to retain his against former Martin opponent Artem Haratunian next month. Fans wanted the pair to go toe-to-toe after that, but 3-way world champion and Hall of Famer James Toney told that would not be a smart move on Shakur's part. Good fight. Shakur Stevenson's a good fighter, but Shakur Stevenson's ain't ready for that. Everybody in boxing, you so-called experts, y'all don't know about boxing. Shakur is a young fighter, let him develop and then when it's a time you make a move. But now Gervonta got that momentum. It's bad for Shakur. He'll return his whole career like Crawford did to Errol Spence Jr. Stevenson's looks set to miss out on the big money fight for now anyway. Should both keep winning and stick around at the weight, they have assured fans a fight will be made on 2 cards. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.